let me present you guys my guest today here. There are two, like somebody said on my lines, two legendary guys on the Warpath community. We got Dr.X and ESPO, and they are from server 14. Why don't present you guys to everybody?
How you doing,
Hey,
Warpath?
So, what we're gonna look here today is just chat around the current status of the game, battlefields, and where 14 is at. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, you guys were the first, pretty much the first level, elite level alliance in the game, right?
yeah, pretty much. Going
Yeah.
to the glory server, yeah.
Yeah, I remember when migration opened, you guys were one of the first ones to start getting a bunch of people in.
Yeah, and well, that's actually we got too many people. Sometimes we think that, and if you can see, even doing certain updates, we just sometimes remove glory server stats from 27, from 19, but this never happens.
Yeah,
We had a lot of immigrants, yeah.
yeah, you guys being always glory servers when others have kind of lost it here and there.
No, but you're right. We were the original. We had two alliances that were top tier when first level 4 opened up, and we dominated. I think first 6 level 4s there was.
Yeah,
With you
That is about
and
right.
TO1.
yeah, but I think you guys now currently also have two big alliances. You got you guys and you got what
FT.
FT.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
we
see
made
right
them
now.
Epic recently, so they were not really an Epic alliance. Before that, they were Epic 2 when they're on their own. But recently, when we saw the Cup matchups, we realized we needed more allies, and we saw they had, S14 is stacked with players. It's
Yes.
not, because even we have, S14 Alliance, but overall the server is really stacked with players. We could definitely create maybe a third alliance if we got everybody on board, but you have a lot of people in the server that have that want to do different things. Some don't want Epic, and vice versa. So right now we do have two alliances in Epic.
Okay.
Hmm.
So talking about that, talking about allies and all that. Uh, why you guys don't give me background on your current battlefield? Because it seems it's only EV14, which is from 14, and you guys versus six other massive alliance. We're talking about
Hmm.
triple all your power on both of you combined, almost.
It's pretty much cheaper, yes.
Hey, listen, if you looked at our battleground and looked in on the city chat, you wouldn't think we're fighting six alliances. We're getting abused like we're not fighting anybody. It's unbelievable. It's so toxic. And this is back because I think we've been dominating so long that we have the people that are against us now are just people that hate us. That
Yeah.
couldn't win against us in the past and still can't win now. That's why they teamed up with 27, and which, you know, after 27 betrayed all their allies and just did what they did, anybody that kind of went with them was basically just to spite us. Because if you're an alliance in this game and you can't trust your ally, it makes no sense to be allies with them. I mean, that's what a normal player would think, but because we're so hated by S12 and now S24, they don't care who they ally with, just as long as, they beat us.
Gotcha. So because at one point, correct me this, 12 was pretty close with you guys.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about 12, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
12, there's two groups of people in 12. If you remember the history, there's HBR and there's a kill.
Correct.
So initially on the first Moscow, I mean, way back to the history, right? We don't like each other at the beginning because no one knows each other. And we've been like fighting each other for a couple of rounds, like one or two or three, level 4. And then we sit back together, say maybe we should align together. At that time, it's still like there's TO1 UN in 14, there's HBR kills in server 12. And then we try to ally for one level 4, winning that one, and we were staying allied for another level 4. and there's some internal drama happens on both sides. I mean, at that time there's a drama between TO1 and UN. This drama between TO1 and HBR, and UN and HBR, and Kill and HBR. All this because you are dealing with the 4 big alliance. And what actually happens is, and right now what the state is, TO1 and UN merge. So that kind of solved the drama in the past. There's no more drama anymore. And the Kill. Most Kill officers are migrating in 14. So we generally taking the old Kill R5 and their officers, a lot of Kill whale. If you look at the Korath, he was once the top 1 whale, like compete with King in Silver 12. He's in 14 now. So with all that group comes in, now the relationship with 12 becomes pretty interesting, I would say. Kill guys definitely still have the old drama with HBR, and we talk about it, sometimes we discuss about it. With all those things carried over together, I have to say the relationship between 14 and 12 is not good at the moment.
Gotcha.
Based on all the history. Yeah.
Yes.
So it was more like 4 titans clashing each other, as always.
Yeah.
A little bit ego is
right, and then you had your 2 alliances from the server battling each other too at that time. Because at that time you could have multiple alliances from the server and still, compete and dominate. But as time went on, you realize that everybody had to kind of migrate into one alliance to really, function
and be successful.
Right.
Yeah. And this is very interesting. And this is one of the things this game is so interesting. It's not about just how many 9.2 units you have. It's about the culture of all the alliance, right? And you will see a lot of drama happen between a few people. Few people don't like each other, and that dislike, that hatred can carry over to entire alliance, and suddenly become the entire alliance don't like another alliance. If you talk to normal people, like a regular player, they just play for fun. They probably don't know anything about the people. They just being ordered to do things, and they don't care. And it's a game. Why you care about it? You just go online, do your things, and go offline, do your things. So that's why you will see always is that few people are talking loudly about, I don't like 14. Oh, we get people say, I don't like 12. I want to smash 12. It's always a small group of people representing that. But it's fine. It's a game. That's the fun of this game. As long as people don't exchange bad language, which I do see a lot happen.
Yeah.
Time is always,
Yeah, the friendly banter is gone. Right now, it's nothing friendly. We could all deal with friendly banter. It makes the game exciting. Now, it's hatred. Yeah. And it's lies. There's so much lies out there. It's like I think people start to believe everything they lie about. There was funny in the city chat. Somebody the other day said 14 is the most toxic alliance in the game. I couldn't believe it coming from these people who we let go because they were toxic. And they're telling us how toxic we are. Every level 4, we tell our players to stay out of the city chat. Obviously, you have 255 people in Alliance. It's not going to always happen. But we do pretty good with controlling our guys. I'm going to admit, this level 4, it's a little different because of the hatred, because of all the talking nonstop and this. Even I got caught up a few times, and I've gone to the city chat going nuts, which really isn't like me. I try to avoid all that. But the animosity and the hatred is real right now. It really is real.
Yeah,
it's probably going to be like that until the cup is over. And then maybe people can get back to this.
I tell you, this is all about the cup. When the cup is over, people will back to normal phase.
Yeah,
apparently, I think a lot of this thing has to do with the Lilith. The Lilith is really promoting those. This is what my understanding. If you don't promote this kind of conflict, it's hard for people to push in power and hard to bring all the income to Lilith. Motivation. A lot of even it's a motivation. Even a lot of YouTubers in this business was trying to bring the hatred.
Right.
But my point is, as long as it's not personal, which means you are not insulting person, you are just express their opinion, their own opinion. That's fine. We're not against it. But when sometimes go to personal, that seems to become a kind of interesting.
Which lately has become more personal.
Yes.
And if you look at it all in the game and also outside the game on forums, Facebook, Discord, it's becoming more dramatic, personally dramatic, which is not healthy for the game, because at that point
it's not. And you will see just one handful of people, maybe like less than 20, 30 people. You will saw them talking everywhere. And I don't want to put people's name, but a lot of people against 14 used to be 14 Clash Talker.
Right.
Right. And then they just left, and because we kicked them, and they just started talking about 14. I understand they feel like they're being abandoned by 14, and then that's fine as long as don't make it personal.
But nobody was abandoned. They weren't, doing the right thing. Listen, TO1 and UN should have merged a long time ago, but because there was so much toxic people in these alliances that went after each other, UN and TO1 couldn't get on the same page. There was a lot of animosity towards each other. Finally, a lot of these toxic people were let go, and we were able to merge. And now it's like we're a coherent team that never had an issue, Because we got rid of the toxic players, and made everybody get along. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is just the fact. I mean, people trying to say, "Oh, you merge because you lose into mass," blah blah. No, the only thing we don't merge in the long term is because of toxic. Everyone knows that in server 14, we'll get a group of certain people very beyond your imagination. So then they're the ones who start talking to UN, in city chat, and they try to talk to anyone. So that's fine. And then that's why UN has a lot of really old man style players. I call it old man style, like ESPO, old UN R5 leader track. They're very old man play style, which means they're chill with the game. They don't like toxic people. That's why we can hardly make any merge decision in 14 that time. Deal around with UN because of players. No.
And again, this is an online game. You're gonna find trash talking. You're gonna find small
exactly.
But as long as not personal and it's for the fun of the game, I welcome it. I mean, it makes it interesting. But then when it becomes personal and offensive and unrespectful, that's beyond, that cross the line, And what you were saying, it brings me to what I was going to ask. What is going on 14 right now? What are your plans? What is going on in the alliance, in the server? Any insights on plans and things like that? Are you planning to, like you said, you might be able to create a third alliance? Or are you planning to make two massive alliances?
So let me just tell the things we can tell, which is already the mails being leaked to people already. So right now, Server 14 has two big alliances, which is Server 14 names online and FT. The one goal is we were supporting FT as our second Epic alliance in the Paramount Cup, but they jumped. So a lot of people say, "Oh, you send FT to second round because it's easier." No, the reason FT to the second round is because they're merging with the server 13. Because the recent server changes, 14 and 13 are bundled together, which means there's a free migration between 13 and 14. So that's why FT makes the decision to stay to get the players from 13 to merge to have a stronger alliance. How successful that merge is, it's going to solely depend on FT's leadership and its players. They're the independent entities in Server 14. We only talk with them regarding, give them city polls, sharing city polls, combat drill. We don't help in FT making any deployment location. But the decision, we were referring FT to our friends in Mass, say, "Hey, Mass is our friend. Maybe you guys talk with them." So we don't. It's not like FT. It's our sub line or something. No, they are the individual line. And after the cut, the whole FT alliance is going to migrate back to 13, which is free, designed by Lilith. Then they can maximize all the safety code that's empty in 13, and they will stay independent but remaining a good friendship with 14, which means we will stay alliance. That's the server wise.
Okay, so and that was going to be my next question, because they must have before this where it was level 4. You guys were with FT on the same event, so most people were thinking, hey, you got two big strong alliance, you might as well stay in the same location and guarantee have a good ally. And a lot of people were talking things saying, hey, they sent FT over there for X and Y. And that's why I was looking at the background. What was the strategy behind a strong alliance from your own circle going to a different battlefield than what you guys are? You know?
Well, I'll touch up on that. So when we heard S27 HBO were going to skip, and we also looked at their coalition of alliances, they were trying to set it up as a 6v2 in the Cup final. And that's something that we couldn't really have. And, you know, FT was going to maybe get knocked out with points if this happened. So we decided to have Mass and FT try to go to Cycle 2 to help out allies over there. And maybe we can knock out one of their allies and make it a 5v3 or even hopefully get a 4v4. So that was the decision why Mass, and because this obviously event really doesn't mean anything. We're battling for the cup, right? That's the main objective right now. So this one event was okay for us to come in, be outnumbered, not win, get our butts kicked, but hold our own, show everybody that we weren't scared. We could go against the 6 alliances, hold our own, and maybe have them have to compete with the points and knock out one of their allies, because that's what's going to happen. They all can't share the same points in the same battleground, so somebody's going to get screwed. And we want to show everybody how S27 is, and and to be honest, it's showing. S27 is an alliance that really only cares about themselves. They don't care about anybody else, and they only really have HBR because they know they can't do it by themselves. Yeah, because they were enemies with HBR before HBR even went over to them. If everybody remembers, but like I said, there's too much hostility between 14 and 12, and that's why they ended up with 27.
And that's what I was going to mention too. Even though this game, at the end is a strategy game, is a war game.
Correct.
And you don't, you might lose a battle, but at the end you need to figure out the big picture. And now the big picture, the war is paramount. So if it makes sense for you guys to lose one battle, which is in this event, right now you're on a 62, but it means you get a better position at the end. I mean, I would have done the same thing that you guys did. I mean, and I think a lot of people are missing that part. A lot of people are looking at it like,
because propaganda. Oh, they're scared. They ran. What?
Yeah, you know.
and if you want to talk, so we really don't want to talk about the fact, right? The fact, if you know the history, HBR and 27, they jump cycle first.
Right.
They leaving our cycle. And without that time, like, we don't start with propaganda to them. We don't have the YouTubers say, oh, you guys skip, oh, blah, blah, blah. We don't even using YouTuber to do that time. So they just naturally, that's a product. Everyone understands. They know they cannot beat us that time point. Mass 14 are like together are ready to fight with 24 and 12. They know they don't have enough ally, they cannot beat us, so they jump to another cycle.
Yeah, and let's go back to that, right? Because S14 and S19 were the original enemies. They were the original rivalries. But when S27 betrayed everybody, even then betrayed S19, then S19 and S14 ended up grouping together and saying, all right, we need to handle S27. They just betrayed everybody. They don't care.
Yeah, and that was
we, as enemies, came together.
That was in the first battle before the pyramid.
Right. If you think about 27, it's not wrong. I have a lot of talks with Napoleon, before he kind of quitting the game. Right now, Napoleon's not very active. But I do have a lot of talk. He got the right point. The way how 27 becomes super strong is literally we are taking all the players in that range that don't like 14, and don't like 19. You were collecting all those whales together and all those medium tier players. And initially their strategy was trying to balance between 14 and 19, of course try to take the most advantage. In the one level 4 before the parallel, that's when 27 still waiting for majority of the migration people join. We were having like we call it stage 5, which no one like it. We're fighting with 27, and there's a multiple peace treaty going on doing that one, because sometimes 27 say Napoleon will say, oh, I need a peace treaty, and then we give them peace treaty because we don't want to losing friend that time, right? And then lots of our members get pissed off and say, oh, we shouldn't accept peace treaty, blah blah blah, which I can see the reason of doing that. I mean, trust me, I know it. And then when the 27 become powerful, they just change. They just forgot how we did to them when they are not powerful. Which when we say, hey, when they ask for peace treaty, we always accept it during the friendship fight, right? And then when they become powerful, they come back to say, hey, you have to fight with us. We're just going to dissolve the treaty because our people are boring. And that's what happens. It happened twice. People don't know the whole story. We have all the screenshots. They're stored in our Discord. It's actually happened twice. Napoleon dissolved the treaty because he wanted his people to have a fight, which is nothing wrong because he got a pressure by his people. They want to fight. And he dissolved treaty once, and we go talk to him what's wrong, and he apologized in a leadership chat, say, oh, I just get overheaded, sorry, I shouldn't dissolve treaty, my people are pushing me to have a fight, blah, blah, blah. And we set up a treaty back. And then when we all go sleep that night because of our US time zone, he did a second time dissolve the treaty, and that time he just say, oh, I have no choice, my friend, sorry. I have all the screenshots showing me. I have no choice, I have to do that. Server 27 is at a really bad situation. If I don't do that, I will losing server 27 control, blah, blah, blah.
Gotcha.
And he did.
So it was more like lost by pure pressure.
Yeah.
Yes, listen, as leaders, you can understand the pressure from your players because ultimately that's who you're leading. You're leading 255 people under you. But when you make a deal with an ally, you can't have your players question you to betray them, in my eyes. Because your word, at least my word is my word. We allies, we allies. Now we're going to have to suffer this event and maybe then fight each other. But in the middle of an event to just betray your allies and say, oh, we're bored, so we're going to just fight you guys while all our enemies fight us too, was wrong. And that's what happened.
And you can see this brings the biggest conflict in this game. R5 or R4 need to deal with is complaints from your people, which your players, versus complaint from your ally, which is other ally. As I said, give you the example. In that Moscow, we are literally pissed off our players. The group of players, that's the players always trash talking, say, oh, we are doing staged fight, we accept the treaty. You see, we generally piss them off because we want to secure 27 as our ally. That time. That's our decision. And then 27's decisions, they want to piss off their ally because they want to keep their players. It's just a different decision leadership making based on the situation that time. And of course, it's not one person's idea. It's always after discussion. As I said, this is the most difficulty decision every R5 have to make. For example, in this level 4, we know 24 always tell the people they have a standard. Their leader will never accepted predetermined fight. They want a real fight. But then they have to make decision when 27 don't have enough killing points. They have to fight with 27 to gain points for 27 to be able to get a 150 killing points. I think their leader at that time make the decision they're going to pick their ally instead of their principal in the past, which they always said they will never fake fight. Which they did that when we asked them to do some pre-stage fight in our map. They rejected the offer. ESPO talked to them. They rejected the offer, say they will never do pre-stage fight. But now look at in this battleground, they always fight with 27 at a certain given time, UTC 16, those kind of stuff because they have no choice. If they don't do that, they will piss off 27 again. They will losing 27th ally, so they have to make a choice.
Well, yes, let's touch on that because that's during this event, and there's a lot of rumors. Oh, we're scared to fight 27. We're fighting 5 alliances right now, right? Yeah, 27 in the mix. That's your 6, right? So, but we went about it like, no, let's solve 27 of points. They need the points here.
Well,
So
again,
why
it's
would we
a
give them
strategy
points?
point.
Right. It's got nothing to do. We'll fight them. We're going to fight them when we're good and ready in this time, and it means something. Right now, it doesn't mean nothing. What is it, bragging rights? You're teaming up 6 versus 2. Are you're going to brag how you beat us? Yeah, you should beat us. It's 6 versus 2. Come on.
Well,
So we...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead, X.
Well, they can.
I say this is just a strategy and logic. They need to make decisions. Because I was curious to see how they're making their decision. For me, this is more like a philosophy question. Will you piss off your players or changing your philosophy, your principle, just to do things you don't like because you know you have to do it, otherwise you will losing your ally? That's always a question bothering R5 in alliance. Like you have your principle and you talk people in the past. Now your ally come to say, "Hey, you have to fight with us. Or we need a kill." And you say, we have a principle. We never do pre-stage fight. We don't want to do that." And your ally will say, "It's not your option." Which we have a screenshot. We have a screenshot. The beginning of this carol, few whales from T27 don't want us to skip. They tell us they will forcing the ally to fight to stay allied with us in the game to make it fun, so their people can enjoy. We rejected the offer because we say we want a real. We don't want this kind of fake. That's the reason we come to this one. Run everything for real. Yeah.
So going back to the same thing, you guys not fighting G27 is not the way I see it. It's not a question of cowering or you're afraid of them. It's more like, hey, these 2 guys down here.
Yeah.
These 2. G27 needs the point. It makes sense. Fight other ones, avoid them for getting those points, and see how Paramount Cups end. And I think at this point, looking at the Paramount Cup points and looking at all the alliance involved in it is a question of who's gonna be that 7th and 8th place now.
Right.
Because right now G27 and G28 are on 7 and 8, and 24 is on 6. Is the questioning who's gonna get the most points this Paramount Cup, this title for you guys, and then all eyes are gonna be on San Francisco coming up for the 2nd cycle.
Right.
Because that cycle is the one that is gonna decide who's all those 8 alliances.
Yeah. Which I have to mention, I strongly against. I mentioned this to Lilith many times. I was the one strongly against the pick to have separate those alliances into 2 groups. I sent a lot of mails to Lilith say they're not supposed to do that because that's open up. Sometimes we call it strategy, like all the alliance been doing. So you sending this to round 2, you keep this one round 1, skip, not skip, those kind of things. People will use in terms of strategy to kind of cover the decision. But really, that makes the game so no fun. But everyone will just using the strategy benefit there the most.
Correct.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
And I think you're not the only one.
What's wrong with it?
I don't think you're not the only one. I think I could say most of the people I talk to on the game they all agree the cycle should have not happened. It should have been
Yeah.
one cycle the whole time. In for the and have like two at least
Yeah.
two epic ones. Two epic ones Battlefield going at the same time.
And I can give you a fact, which is very interesting. I think about this. If you look at the old top 10, top 15 alliance in the Paramount Cup, S14 is the only one didn't jump. We keep our cycle, and we always keep in our cycle. If you look at it, all the other alliances jump once or twice for their benefit. Some try to avoid fight with 14. Some try to come to our side to beat 14. 14 is an alliance we never jump. Never, ever. We stay in our cycle forever. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys haven't skipped a cycle, and to be honest, that's better for you guys because that means you don't sit around for extra time and you essentially get more.
Even we don't skip from round 1 to round 2.
Gotcha.
Which people said there's a benefit for us to skip from round 1 to round 2 this time. And then we talk about it, and it's like, yeah, no, some benefit, but well, we should still stay in this round. We just don't like jump. We just don't like changing cycle. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, you guys, a lot of the alliance have done it more for their own
strategy, right? But that's what I say. They shouldn't blame people. They shouldn't blame people doing it because you literally do the same thing. And you can say the reason I'm doing it for strategy, you are doing it not. Bullshit. Everyone doing it for strategy. Otherwise, why you are doing it?
Listen, the people that know the game know the strategy. Then there's people that just here to cause drama and talk, and they're the ones that are the loudest that are out there. And certain people believe them because they see it. They're like, oh, you're not here? That means you're scared. Buddy, it's a war game. There's strategy to it. It isn't just show up and fight all the time. There's got to be some strategy.
Yeah. New battles. It's kind of
Exactly.
Yeah.
My
point is always it's fair for everyone. Every alliance in Paramount Cup besides 14, they all skipped one or twice. And the reason they skip, they can make up also different reasons, but you can use one word to describe it as a strategy. Right? You're using strategy to best benefit your alliance. Either you want to get more reward, or you want to get more players, or you want to beat someone. But that's the reason you did it. Or you want to avoid someone, that's the reason you did it. That's why people shouldn't blame mass or someone, they say they skip. We see a lot of people say, oh, talk to me, say, 14, you're fighting really hard, but I don't see mass here. You shouldn't ally with mass, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I feel like people are wasting time trying to think those. Like people doing their things benefit for their alliance. And everyone did. If you can name an alliance besides 14, didn't skip even one single cycle, you can put them here. But I just quickly go through everyone in the Paramount Cup. Everyone skipped once or twice.
At least
like
in the
G27 maybe
top 10.
3 times. Yeah.
Yeah, mainly
besides 14. Yeah.
Mainly the guys on the top guys, the more essential guys that most likely will be in the Paramount Cup. Those 8 alliances.
That's why really need to get rid of. That time we will have a good fight, real fight strategy. So far this game, I never saw a good coordination 4 versus 4, which really, which the closest one we have is the Moscow we had the first time with Mass. But even that, we still think it's unbalanced because the Mass is slightly at the weaker side that time. Because they one alliance are not really epic that time, so Mass is still at the weaker side in that Moscow. So literally, you will know you will winning that one in the first 10, 12 days. But that's the longest one we know. A lot of game level 4 right now, you will know you are the losing side or winning side in the first 3 days.
Sometimes the first day when you see the matchup, you know.
Yeah.
And
then you see how leaders are changing. They make a stupid map like San Francisco or Carroll to make the things later. But then people just so boring. You think about the carol, right? You either safe in safe zone, or you are outside of other people's safe zone. So I don't know. It's gonna need some change for this game. Hopefully, it's lessening. Yeah.
The maps are a different subject, but being constricted on Pyro map and not being able to move is kind of the worst map, I think. And most people kind of agree, especially the buildings too. It's annoying.
The reason they want to do that in Terra is because they don't want the people accusing later say, hey, you design a level 4, you will know the result in first 3 days. If it's a module, no kidding, we will be in safe zone in first day, and everyone knows what's going to happen. Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, we're lucky it's Cairo. We definitely got lucky it's Cairo with and it's not even a two because EV really shouldn't be here. They have 120 people, and the highest guy is 300 million. Yeah. And I think it's my second account. So, they were a golden line to just end up getting here, which honestly it helped us because then we'd be fighting the 7th alliance. So it's one alliance away from.
I won't call. Sometimes I won't even call it 2 versus 6. It's literally 1 versus 4. Other 3 just been told doing things.
Yeah, sure.
Same thing. Like EV14 and MO and the 26. That's 26, right? Mike's alliance. 29. 29. Yeah, SF. They just doing what they've been told them to do, and they may. That's I say. I was kind of making sure EV14 has been found 5 with SF, so there people can finish 25k kills. That's all. It's a free reward they just give to everyone. Yeah. If you don't want to trade kill with people, you have to fight with the alliance with the same level. And the other side is literally 4 against 1, which is 7, 12, 24, and 27 against us. And then we decided to make it 3 against us. So we literally can only face 7, 24, and 12 at the same time. That's why we literally tell our guys, don't go 27 side. This is impossible to fighting on the 3 front that time. So we're kind of doing pretty okay to fight in 2 front, which you can see we push 7 to the safe zone end, and there's a couple back and forth there. And then we almost been pushed on to the safe zone on our side with 12 and 24. But we do have some good counter, some good push. People are enjoying this back and forth wiping base, all get wiped. So
it's been a little seesaw battle with 24 and 12. But a lot of people also understand this game. People get stuck on power alone, and when they see Alliance power, they get so stuck on it, and they have to realize it's not only about the power of Alliance; it's about activity, units, army groups, right? So if we're battling 2 strong alliances that are both 60 billion and we're 80, we got 20 over 1 alliance, but you compare both of them, we're outnumbered 2 to 1.
Still reserves, right? And,
so people have to understand, why can't you handle 2 alliances? First of all, it hasn't been 2v1 because we have 2 alliances in the north that we have to also protect our flank and help EV. So it hasn't been a 2v1. Right. So they have Sarge, 52. They got whales there. So they can't act like, we could avoid them and not do anything because then we would have no buffs in the north. And we'd be right on the safe zone in the north also. So, there's a lot to it. It ain't just, it's simple, it's this and that. And people have to understand what goes in and the situations at hand.
Yeah.
And with this game evolving right now, I think it is we're kind of limited. 1 alliance can push 2 alliance, which I even saw that G27 fighting with both 24 and 12. The way they're doing it is that you have to fight with 1 alliance, which another alliance is completely play defensive. That's the chance you can do. When you're fighting 2 alliances with their both try to be aggressive, killing your base, it's pretty hard. I don't know. And with the ATG buff, so hard to push by Alpha. Even you have a strong Alpha, 2 ATG can easily clean your fighters, make your Alpha's power useless.
Yeah, and that's
Initially, we are thinking we can do some good push to 12 and 24 because we have a better alphas for them. And with alpha support, a harvester group can take advantages. Their harvest group will be bombed. But then with the ATG buff coming, literally bomb become useless. You are literally trading kills, you suiciding your bomb to the ATG, and you cannot even kill the ATG. Biggest issue is ATG, you cannot even causing damage to them. That was kind of interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that brings my question is, what do you guys think on the current state of the game?
I think Lilith. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. You go. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you are well.
I think. Well, I think the problem with Lilith is greed. I think instead of fixing certain issues that we all know part of the game since day one, they just keep adding new stuff to make money.
Yeah.
And I think that's affecting the game dramatically. There's only a few people in this game that can compete and spend the money at that level. You know, and it's not fair for the average players and stuff like that. So now you got an alliance like G27 who got 16 mega whales in it. That's why they're so dominant, right? Because they got all the high guys in there, all the whales spending the money, and the average player gets lost in the mix. I think they got to balance it. They try to come with the server and not have the migration, but that was a little too late.
Yeah,
they should have did that more in the beginning.
That should have been implemented day one.
Right, that came way too late. So now there's not enough servers with enough alliances to compete at an epic level, and now we have 2 different cycles. So one, they got to get rid of the cycles. They got to put everybody in one so that there is better competition. And they also got to figure out something with this cup, because I feel like the cup is also destroying the game in a way. Because it's making it so unbalanced, and people only care about the cup and the points, that they don't care about a fair game, competitive game, you know, and try to get 4v4s and stuff like that. Now people want 6v2s, just dominate, blah, blah. To me, that's not fun. And I'm aware, I don't think picking on lower power players is fun. I'm not that guy. I'd rather sacrifice kills for my alliance so they win, not kills for me, you know?
Exactly. This is the point, the first time I have the big conflict with ESPO, which I can bring up here. It's R5. I have to think in points. That's the time me and ESPO really have a good fight. It's generally, I always keep telling us for the game being designed this way, we have to keep thinking about how to making maximum points, which is the most Alliance R5 are doing right now. Right, you skip, you not skip, you have to calculate how many points you to understand the chance you can go to the cup. But then that killed the fun. I'm not saying 14 was doing alright too in our side at the time with math. We're killing the fun as well when 27-12 in other side, we in this side, we both are playing fake game. Let's just say, I always tell people it's not, but I have to make decision to play fake game. So I have no choice.
Well, everybody else is.
Yeah.
Right. No. Well, I understand. And as R5, you definitely have to think about other things, you know, incorporated. But the problem when that happened was we had regular level 4s versus Mass, where they were competitive. Yeah. There was no deals. It was all-out war, and Mass was dominating. And we were losing, but guess what? It was the best level 4s we had. Because we were fighting and having fun, and politics didn't get involved. When politics get involved, it kind of takes away from the game and stuff, even though it's part of the game, right? But the problem was then the deals say, okay, you know, the cup is coming soon, so we got to be allies with Mass, and we can't fight them. That's when I had a problem, because now it takes away, you know, competitiveness and fun in the game. And to level 4s before, it got boring. And we were so dominant when we became Mass's ally that everybody hated us because they felt like now we were bullying them. Even though I told them, listen, this is only one round we're doing this. It was one level 4, we were allies with Mass and didn't fight them. And everybody took it as we did it on purpose just to dominate, and we didn't. All we wanted to do is to coordinate with Mass for when we do have to fight G27, to see how we move together and stuff like that. But people couldn't register that. They just figured, you know, look what we're doing, we're bullying on people, we just want to dominate, and it really wasn't that, you know? But, you know, this is part of the game, and to deal with all these different people and attitudes and cultures, and And it's a lot to it. People don't understand what it is to be an officer in this game, and the commitment and the time and the energy. It's
sometimes
a
a
lot.
second job.
It is a second job, 100%, and it's a thankless job.
You can interview 27 12 side. It's the same story. They're in their battleground because I say in our cycle because Lilith would separate the bigger alliance into the two cycle. So in our cycle, we have an ally with Mars in 2 or 3 level 4 after T27 and HBR move to another cycle. We keep fighting each other because we have to that time, and we're winning one, they're winning one. So of course, if we are winning, mass people starting migrated to different server, the people go to pissed off. When the time we're losing to mass, we're losing to people.
Right.
It's a strategy. That's a strategy. The same thing happens on other rounds. The same, no difference. When HBR, when 27 want to having fun, they're killing their ally, they're killing 12, they're killing that time Top was their ally, because the way how they treat Top is not happy, they go to us. And because the way how the misunderstanding happened, we losing ally to their side, it's the same thing. But again, R5 and R4 have to make decisions to benefit for their ally in the long-term strategy.
Right.
And the most issue is the game is so unbalanced because Lilith put that one. If Lilith put all these islands together, trust me, people were thinking more about how to be qualified into the top 8 so you can have a good fight rather than dodging kick players. How many good used to be good Epic 1 alliance they have to kick 50% of their players try to avoid each one. Too many.
Yeah.
Too many. And when you're doing that, you're literally losing those players. They will quit the game, migrate it. I don't know. It's a psychological problem that is creating. Literally, people need to balancing have no politics, fun, versus don't piss off your ally, or don't be pissed off by your ally, so you're losing players. Players are thinking you are weak leaders, you are literally compromise your allies anyway. It's a hard game.
I
There's
think
no perfect solution.
the cycle should get fixed because after the next San Francisco's the second cycle ends, and then the elite on cycle 1 and 2 go to Paramount.
They're still going to give cycle 1 another level 4.
I don't think so. Because
there's a gap. There's a gap that we're trying to figure out, right?
Yeah. But based on Lilith's timeline, it seems there's another level 4 for us for the round 1. For round 2 cannot do anything. They have to they're in the game and then when they go out it's permanent.
Yeah, but I thought they
didn't Lilith send out a mail about this?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think they sent an email saying that they're gonna push the when they close the alliance for a few days for the second cycle.
I think they pushed it back. I think they pushed it back an extra week. 3 days.
That's generally gave the round 2 people a time to unlock the alliance, take players, exchanging players, which is fine. For the time they can do that, the round 1 guys is already in the permanent card. No, it's already in the level 4. A level 4 that doesn't give you any points. If there's a 1 there, yep.
Correct. So this is the last level 4 that they're gonna have that top points are calculated.
Yeah. But we might have another level 4 with no points.
Right, just for fun to kill time.
Correct.
Lilith's definitely got a lot of work to do.
Oh, no.
And they got to listen to the players. They don't listen to the players a lot. And you ever notice with their customer service thing or whatever, their VIP thing, is that you always get different answers depending on who you at the time you message. And to me, they're all not on the same page. And they need to get better with that, and they need to fix these issues instead of trying to get more money and add new stuff. And also, maybe have packs that aren't $100 all the time, and let the average player be able to buy packs and to compete. Because I really feel like the gap with the whales and the average players is expanding, and it expands too much. It's like in real world, right? With money economy, and you have the 1%ers like the whales, and you have the average people. And to me, it's not. It kills the game. It doesn't make it as fun, and it doesn't make it as competitive.
Yeah, one credit to Liz, and this goes to how bad their decision was with the update with the Sky Fortress and all that.
Oh God!
I mean, I think all the way around, nobody liked it.
Yeah, that's why they finally made a move and got rid of it.
Props to them that they made a move to fix it this fast. But still, there's a lot of things that needed to be fixed before that even came into the game. And I think, like you say, that Lily needs to start listening a little bit to their core players.
Yes.
And the more they listen to their core players, this game could last a long time. I think the game is a great game. They just need to tone it down a little bit on what they implement.
100%. It's a great game. That's why we're all here, right? We love the game. And that's the problem. Yeah. The game was even better when it was more simple. But they tried to complicate it and made it worse. Keep it down.
Reason they make it worse is money, right? If you think about it, in the past, before this update, you get a 9.2 units. Lots of people have 7.2 units. And 3 7.2 fighters that time. And if you see that time, most of the people are active. You will have like 40, 50 army groups fighting each other. Lots of fun. Too many funs there.
Yeah, before the modern unit update.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you say, no, we don't like wake players have 5 7.2 units as well, like our whales. So we make a 9.2. Only whale can have a good unit.
Well, that's kind of like this last update with the wrenches.
Oh, yeah, that.
That's another bad update because listen, modern units just came not too long ago. A lot of people don't have 5 modern units right now, and now you're adding the wrenches. So all that does is help whales. Again, it seems like every update is for whales and not for the average players. And some guys are like, "Oh, this helps the average players." And I'm like, "No, it doesn't. If it helps it's hard because if it does help the average player, it helps the whales regardless, right?" So they got to kind of. Right, they got to kind of find a balance. I know it's tough, it's not easy, but they got to kind of find a balance and make it where, it's more competitive. And listen, I understand, economics, money makes the world go round, and the whales are spending the money, and you got to comment. I get that part too. It's a fine balance, and it's tough. But they got a lot of smart people over there, and I think they can figure it out.
Yeah, and let me say this, for everybody, for whoever don't know, you're technically one of the whales of the game. You are what, 600 million all-time power? 650?
Yes.
So
601, I think now.
I'm looking at it as 600 million all-time power. So it's not like you're complaining because you're a small.
No, I fight for the average player.
You're a whale.
Yeah, I'm a whale, but I always look out for the average player.
And,
that's why.
The thing is, without the regular guys or the small players, you don't have nothing to kill. So
that too.
They need to keep that balance, and same thing with the research. Like most of people, I would say almost 80% of people in the game did not have one complete max unit awakened on the advanced comp, and then they come with the modern and advanced city defense. Most people ignore that already when advanced combat came around, because it is impossible to get city coins. So I think Lily what needs to do is either grab one of those 3 and take the city coins out of it. So either advanced, modern, or advanced, take out the city coins out of it, or give us way more ways to get city coins.
Exactly. Which I'm surprised they haven't yet. I mean, you can only get the city coins with the dailies or buy them, and it's so much money to buy them that I'm not even doing it anymore. Because I think
you don't get buying them. You don't get that much either.
No, it's ridiculous. You get 1,000 for $100, if that. I think it's crazy. And 1,000 goes in 2 seconds. What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's bad. I think it's terrible, and I put $500,000 in the game, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? I got to put another $500,000. Are you out of your mind? At this point, I'm like, I'm done. I'm done because now I just feel like it's greed. It's just more and more and more, and it kind of bothers me. And why I see the average player getting screwed more and more, and I got guys I played with 3 years quitting the game over this stuff, and it's like, oh, come on, you know?
Yeah.
That takes away from the game, like I feel.
Well, and I think they're noticing because now they have this package. When you haven't played for a long time, they give you an option, a welcome back package. They give you a bunch of different stuff. And I think that's If you have a small role on another account on your account and like that you haven't touched in months, go to it. You will see the new package. Even give you the tickets to migrate to a new server. And for them to install that means that they see the people living, and some people starting maybe come back, you know. But yeah.
Yeah. I think my biggest issue with Lida is I don't think Lida's developer actually playing this game. Otherwise, they won't make the mistake of the Titans. They wasted too many development resources in making those graphic things instead of make the game really fun. You see how many update leaders did was to try to changing the different graphics, the different officer. They call L2D officer video, this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
nobody cares.
The 3D,
nobody cares.
The 3D view of the units.
When you awaken them or something, they change the character. Like, nobody cares about it. Fix the chat. All right? That's all we care.
Yeah. I mean, and that says a lot when you have most people using an outside software to communicate and not the in-game chat, which I think is a great chat. And the translate button sometimes doesn't work correctly, but I think it's a great idea.
It should be auto-translate, to be honest. If you're from a certain country, it should be automatically translated to whatever language, I feel.
To whatever language you got the game set up to.
Exactly.
You're already going to be pressing that button every time somebody sends something, so...
Yeah, and it really is need to spend more time to making the real better the fighting function more optimized, like the tagging, right? Tagging system in this game is so dumb and somehow useless. There are limited number of the characters you can put in each tag.
Right.
And sometimes the information you want to tell people is so hard. And you cannot make an active tagging, all those kind of other things to help leading the fight more efficient. So now they're pushing people to go to the voice chat to have a good coordination. Instead of, for lots of people don't like to talking in the voice chat, the tagging is so bad.
Well, the problem is this is a mobile game. Most people are going to play it on your cell phone while you're doing who knows what. Not everyone can sit down and have a second device with Discord or have a good mobile device when you can run the game and Discord. If you have tried that before, your phone gets hot. That's crazy.
Oh, I can't play on my phone. I literally can't play on my phone. I had to go buy an iPad and everything. I can't chat on my phone or it freezes every 5 seconds. It's really bad, to be honest. I think PC guys have a way more advantage with people that play on their phones.
No, absolutely. The ability to, first of all, to see a bigger screen, you can zoom out a little bit more than on the phone. You had a better view.
Right.
And
the clicker.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. The clicker, I think you can move the units faster and easier, you know?
Yes, and more precise too.
Right.
So, I think at bottom line, Lilith needs to listen to their community a little bit more. And fix what core of the game is, which is a war game. The fighting on the game. They need to fix it. Improve it. Not fix it, improve it. And stop running new things. I'm pretty sure next is going to be in a spaceship that we can...
or ships. But the problem is, like, I have no problem adding things, but you're adding things way too fast in short of a time. You know, like, give it time. Like, we just got the modern units not months ago. People still don't have them. Don't do the rents thing right now either. Because, again, that only gives 5% of the players the option to do it. And now people are running around with only one unit.
Okay.
So you take away the army groups and the activity, right?
Yeah, it takes longer to fill out groups, and it takes longer to do any meaningful
Right.
battlefield. Same thing, balance. Because right now, on the battlefield, all you see is helicopters.
Oh, God. Yeah, I know.
They're fun to play with, but that renders all the older units useless.
Right.
And people don't see that and think that helicopters are all and be all. And things happened to you the other day. You got attacked by a bunch of groups that maybe have like 3 or 4 arties on it. And that
well, the big arty group they had got annihilated, right?
Yeah,
and they
that's
just
the
kept
first one.
attacking my base with the helis and just, yeah, prolonged my report to where we got over 10,000 kills in one shot.
Yeah.
And honestly, you never hear that on an epic battleground like we're in. That's kind of unheard of,
No.
to have that many kills in reports.
That was a report of 3 minutes and 2 seconds.
Right.
And I mean, after that, when was the last time you lasted 3 minutes in an epic battlefield?
Right. Right. Well, you know what? I tell people that destroyed me now, because now any other report I get, I'm going to be like, it's nothing compared to that report, right? So now I feel weird even sharing any other report that isn't 10,000 kills.
Yeah.
Kill your game experience.
Hey,
Yeah, in terms of that, I just want to give you some data in Server 14. So, and actually pretty interesting data. We in the first 3 days, we have a 50% people reached 25k kills. In the first 7 days, we have 90% people reached 25k kills. And in the first 10 days, we have like 95, 96 people reach 25k kills. I think the time before Lilith removed the Titan, we are most 95% people in Server 14 finish 25 kills. We got a couple of guys inactive that will be replaced after this. We got 3 guys inactive. But that's how a real active alliance data, because we got enough people to kill. But I was thinking if we have a firefight 4 versus 4, most of this active alliance in this map will get the same data. That's more competitive.
yeah.
So right now we're dominating the fighting machine, which everyone knows the reason, because we are the only alliance with the right to fight with anyone. So.
Well, listen, as far as that also, it's not just on Lilith. It's also on the leaders of the game, right? We got to kind of put our animosity aside and everything, and even if our players are upset, to explain to them, listen, we all want a fun, competitive game, right? We don't want 6v2s and just all be dominated. It's not really fun. So we, as officers, have to, work with what we got from Lilith, and we have to try to balance the playing field ourselves. We have to forget the animosity and forget that. If you're dealing with Alliance and you don't like 2 guys in it, that's 2 guys out of 255. You can't let the rest of the people suffer because you only don't like those 2 players. And that's a big part of the problem right now also. There's all the animosity towards each other. And it's only a few people. And all majority are suffering for it. So I think we have to kind of balance that out amongst ourselves and try to make the game a little more fair and competitive. And I'm open to starting a chat with all the leaders in the game to try to accommodate that.
Do you know what? I cannot say anything better than that. And unless Dr.X had something else, I'd like to close our talk with that great freaking idea. I think it's an awesome idea you put in there.
Well, thank you. And thank you for the interview. And Warpath, it was nice meeting everybody. And good luck to everybody.
Yep, thank you. I don't have anything to add. It's great clothing, everything. Yep.
Yeah, like I say, every other leaders on the Epic one, you heard him. Get in touch with him. Let's get the game fun again.
100.
All right, guys. I do appreciate your time and to talk about this. I'll probably see you guys on the Paramount Cup on the battlefield.
Perfect. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Care.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.